this week because the Oscars are Sunday. Good morning, Jason.
Hey, good morning.
All right, first let's talk about all the things. A lot of people, we were joking earlier about the movie Arrival, which is up for Best Picture, but no one's talking about it except for the fact that they bought hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of ads to get people to talk about it.
Yeah, and it has the second most nominations with 8. So I mean, it's got a lot going into it, but no, it's not going to win. It might win in some technical categories here or there, but when it comes to the major races, you might actually see it get shut out.
Is it any good?
It's one of those movies. Some people, before I saw it, some people were like, you have to see Arrival. It's fantastic. It's amazing. And then I saw it. I'm like, I was bored. I was bored most of the way through it.
Really?
I mean, it's interesting, and the subjects it explores are good. But most of the science fiction kind of alien movies that we've seen over the past couple of years just really haven't done it for me. And I put this into that category. It's another one. The performances are good. Amy Adams is good. She's good in pretty much everything.
Since she's in every movie. So some of the odds-on favorite. I mean, what's the race this year? Who's going to win Best Picture?
Well, La La Land is the odds-on favorite for sure, and has been for so long, which actually might hurt it. It's been the front runner for so long. There's definitely a backlash. There's a growing contingent of people who don't want to see it win. Just like anything that's the front runner, there's snobby people who go, oh, La La Land, it's too light on whatever. It's not socially conscious, which it's not. But it is a movie about Hollywood. Hollywood loves to vote for movies about Hollywood. So it has a very good chance, and it's the front runner. I mean, there's been a growing surge, though, in the past few weeks for movies like Moonlight and Hidden Figures. Hidden Figures, I wouldn't be mad if that one. That's a great movie, I don't understand why it didn't get the buzz that some of these other films got, because it's socially conscious, it's historical, and it's a story that we didn't know. And we love those stories, those surprise history stories. That kind of teach us a lesson. And it's a very good Hollywood movie. It's the most accessible, I think, of all of them. If you look at, La La Land's a musical. People hate musicals. Moonlight is kind of an independent film. Manchester by the Sea is very dark and depressing. It's a great movie, but it's dark and depressing. Hidden Figures is the one that everybody can agree on that they love. So I don't understand why it didn't get more love.
What about Casey Affleck? What about his chances of winning?
His chances have gone down significantly, especially since Denzel Washington won the SAG Award for Best Actor. Casey Affleck was winning everything up until then. And there's been this, kind of groundswell of people who are against him because of these allegations of sexual harassment, these cases that he settled in the past, and those have come back to haunt him. And I think a lot of people in Hollywood these days don't feel comfortable voting for somebody who he's denied everything. They settled the cases out of court, but he says,
Right.
Nothing ever happened. But just the whiff of something like that is enough to derail your chances. So I think that's why maybe Denzel Washington won the SAG Award. Not that Denzel doesn't deserve it. He's a great actor, and
Right.
Fences is good. But if he wins on Sunday, actually he'll make history. Denzel Washington will. He'll become the first African American to win 3 Oscars.
He's won for what else has he won in the past?
Supporting, right? Has he won Best Actor?
He won did he win for Training Day? Was it?
Yeah, he did for Best Actor, I think.
That was Best Actor, yeah. And I think
Glory,
he has
I think.
Was it Glory, too? Glory was a great
Yeah.
movie.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk a little Jimmy Kimmel and the Trump factor here. Has anybody put out the word like, hey, let's not try and make it political, or let's try and go all political? Because that is clearly going to be a story Monday morning.
Yeah, no, the producers, we talked to them the other day, and they said that they don't want to make it political. They're just making a show about the movies and to honor movies. Kimmel, in his monologue, for sure there's going to be some Trump jokes. We talked to him as well. He said he can't avoid politics. He actually hopes to bring out Trump as a surprise guest. He thought that would be fantastic. Because, I mean, think about this. The last Oscars, or the previous, 7 Oscars, if you brought out President Obama, it would be the greatest thing in the world, right? Everybody would stand and cheer. It would be a fantastic moment. You bring President Trump on that stage, I mean, it would be a great TV moment, but the people in the audience would rebel. I mean, you'd hear them boo him. It would be fantastic television. So that's not going to happen, but there will be a lot of jokes. Where we might see a lot of politics enter into it is the acceptance speeches. Particularly, I would watch the best documentary category for that, because there are a lot of socially conscious documentaries in there about race and refugees. So whoever wins that, you're going to hear a big political speech, I would imagine.
O.J. Simpson's documentary is the odds-on favorite to win Best Documentary, is it not?
It is, and that's a big film about race. It permeates that whole thing. If that wins, by the way, that would be historic, because that would be the longest film ever to win, because it's almost 8 hours long. So the longest film to ever win an Oscar. And yeah, that is the odds-on favorite. But Ava DuVernay's 13th, which is also a documentary about race, has a shot in there, as does the documentary about refugees, which is escaping my mind right now, but that has a chance.
Jason, but the O.J. Simpson documentary ran on television. I guess the Academy doesn't care if it runs on television or in a movie theater.
It did, but it actually ran first in movies. It premiered at Sundance,
okay,
and it ran in its entirety in the movie theater. People sat there for 7 hours and 45 minutes and watched that thing. I hope they had bathroom breaks. I mean that's crazy. I don't understand why anybody would do that, but they did, because they were the first ones to see it, so they watched the whole thing, and it is fantastic. I don't know that I could sit through it all in a row, though.
Yeah, no, it was on one of the channels, had it on over the weekend, and I watched a lot of it. I didn't watch all 7 hours of it, but I watched a lot of it. All right, Jason, be good. We'll talk to you Monday morning with all the latest information. Have a good weekend. Thanks for checking in.
Thanks, you too. Take care.
Got it. Jason Nathanson, ABC News entertainment correspondent, who is going to be there, and he'll talk with us first thing Monday morning to get all the latest, because as we know, as we learned from Kelly Jackson's last segment, it'll end right about the time we're on the air.
Okay.
So we'll be able to we'll be able to talk to the winners right as they're getting off the stage.
I got it.
Thanks to Jason Nathanson. 7:20. Check that. 8:27.